Porsche just did the unthinkable again. The 2025 911 GT3 992.2 has smashed the Nürburgring Nordschleife record for the fastest production car with a manual transmission, clocking in at a mind-blowing 6 minutes 56.294 seconds. That's not just fast, that's blink and miss half the lap fast. And yes, it beat the Dodge Viper ACR's 2017 time of 7:01.3 by more than 9.5 seconds. The Nürburgring isn't just a racetrack, it's the Thunderdome of performance cars. And today, we're breaking down how Porsche pulled this off, and why it matters for stick shift lovers, and what it means for the future of analog driving. Let's talk numbers, because bragging rights at the Nürburgring aren't just earned, they're measured down to the thousandth of a second. The 2025 Porsche 911 GT3 992.2 clocked an astonishing 6 minutes, 56.294 seconds on the full 20.832 kilometer Nordschleife. To put that into perspective, the previous manual transmission record holder, the Dodge Viper ACR, ran a 7:01.3 back in 2017 on a slightly shorter 20.6 kilometer layout. Adjusted for today's full track, that Viper time balloons to about 7:05.8, which means Porsche didn't just beat it, they obliterated it by nearly 10 seconds. Now, let's talk about the human element, the man behind the wheel. Jörg Bergmeister, Porsche's go-to test driver and brand ambassador. The guy's resume includes lap records, championships, and probably dreams in apexes. Under his control, the GT3 danced its way into the history books. Conditions couldn't have been better. 12 degrees Celsius ambient temp, 27 degrees Celsius track with Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires gripping like they owed him money. 255s up front, 315s out back, all street legal. What really makes this special? The car had a manual gearbox. 6-speed, no dual clutch magic, no flappy paddles. This was a 3-pedal ballet at over 170 miles per hour. The precision required to shift perfectly while threading through the ring's 73 corners at that pace? Insane. This wasn't just fast, it was foot dancing, clutch kicking, rev matching poetry. And unlike most records where the computer is the co-pilot, this one was all man and machine, locked in a rhythm that only the best drivers and best cars can find. Porsche didn't just break a record, they reminded the world what pure driving looks like. Smash that like and subscribe button and buckle up. This ride through Nürburgring history is just starting. Let's be honest, driving a manual these days feels like writing a letter with a fountain pen. Classy, intentional, and completely unnecessary in a world of convenience. Automatics, especially Porsche's lightning-fast PDK, are objectively quicker. They shift in milliseconds, never miss a beat, and make even mediocre drivers look like track day heroes. But here's the thing, quicker doesn't always mean better, because driving isn't just about speed, it's about feel, and that's where manuals shine. As Porsche GT director Andreas Pruninger put it, more and more 911 GT3 customers are opting for the 6-speed manual. They want to know how fast it can go on the Nordschleife. Translation, there's still a tribe of drivers out there who'd rather row their own gears than tap a paddle. People who see shifting not as a chore, but as a challenge. And what a challenge it is! The Nürburgring has 73 corners, each one a test of timing, touch, and tenacity. To set a sub-7-minute lap with a manual gearbox isn't just impressive, it's borderline mythical. It means every downshift was rev-matched with surgical precision. Every gear change was perfectly timed under pressure that would melt most drivers into a puddle of sweaty palms and missed shifts. Let's not forget, nearly 50% of GT3 buyers in the US still opt for a manual. That's not a trend, that's a statement. The manual gearbox isn't just clinging to life, it's breaking records, making headlines, and proving that in a world obsessed with speed, there's still room for soul. Because sometimes the most satisfying gear change is the one you do yourself. So what exactly makes this stick-shift GT3 a record-breaking monster? Let's start with the heart. Nestled behind the rear axle is a 4.0-liter naturally aspirated flat six, revving to the heavens and pumping out 502 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque. It's not turbocharged, it's not hybrid, it's pure, unfiltered combustion joy. And for this generation, Porsche didn't just tweak, it re-engineered. They gave it a shorter final drive ratio, 8% shorter to be precise, giving it more punch out of every corner. But power alone doesn't lap the ring in under 7 minutes. That's where the chassis magic comes in. The 992.2 GT3 borrows suspension tech straight from the hardcore GT3 RS, making it razor-sharp over curbs, undeterred by bumps, and stable at the kind of speeds that make your inner ear file for early retirement. Then there's the Viper package, Porsche's greatest hits compilation of lightweight wizardry. We're talking carbon fiber hood, roof, rear wing, even the anti-roll bars. Add a featherweight lithium-ion battery, and you've got a car that went on a crash diet and came back faster and meaner. Don't forget the tires. Michelin Pilot Sports Cup 2R. Road legal, but barely. They grip like Velcro on steroids and were developed with Nürburgring abuse in mind. Aerodynamically, the car's a wind tunnel weapon. Every vent, splitter, and winglet was crafted to glue it to the tarmac. At high speeds, this thing doesn't just cut through the air, it negotiates with it. Put it all together, and you get a car that doesn't just chase records. It hunts them down and leaves them trembling in the pit lane. We've covered the specs, we've dissected the lap time, but here's the truth. This wasn't just a triumph of engineering, it was a victory of human skill and connection. Behind that screaming flat six was Jörg Bergmeister, a driver who didn't just shift gears, he orchestrated them at a place like the Nürburgring where even the best cars can come undone. This wasn't just a fast lap, it was a statement to every enthusiast who's ever grinded a gear, nailed a heel-toe downshift, or celebrated a perfectly timed clutch release. This record wasn't just about raw speed, it was about the purity of the drive, the rhythm between man and machine, no paddles to fall back on, no transmission doing the thinking for you. Just Bergmeister, 3 pedals, and the most unforgiving track on Earth. And that's what makes it so powerful. It's not just a new benchmark for manuals, it's a reminder that in a world obsessed with automation and instant everything, there's still beauty in doing it the hard way, in staying connected, in feeling every shift, every corner, every heartbeat of the car. Because sometimes the most advanced technology is a driver who knows exactly when to shift. Loving gear shifts and lap times? Hit subscribe, we're shifting into high gear from here on out. Alright, let's stack the GT3 against its rivals and see how the numbers shake out. First up, the Dodge Viper ACR, a 645 horsepower V10 beast that held the manual lap record for years. Built like a hammer and driven like one, it thundered around the Nordschleife in 701.3. But remember, that was on the shorter 20.6 kilometer layout. Adjust for today's full-length version and you're looking at roughly 705.8. That means the new GT3 beat it by almost 10 seconds, with 143 fewer horses and a lot more finesse. Then there's Porsche's own 992.1 GT3, equipped with the quicker shifting PDK. That one posted a respectable 7 minutes flat. Impressive, sure, but this new manual 992.2 is 3.6 seconds faster, proving that when Porsche fine-tunes its formula, even a manual gearbox can make up for milliseconds lost in shifting. Now, the Ford Mustang GTD. Ford's Nürburgring missile ran a 657.685 last year. Respectable? Absolutely. But it's a track-focused, tech-heavy super pony, and it still couldn't beat the GT3's raw analog pace. And let's not forget the 911 GT3 RS. That thing is basically a road-legal race car. It scorched the track with a 649.3. But again, that was with Porsche's dual-clutch wizardry doing the work. So what did Porsche prove? You don't need 700 plus horsepower or semi-autonomous paddle magic. What you need is precision, balance, and a driver brave enough to heel toe at 160 miles per hour. The GT3 just showed the world that in the battle of man versus machine, sometimes both win. This record isn't just about numbers on a stopwatch, it's about what they represent. In an automotive world shifting rapidly toward electrification, automation, and touchscreens over tachometers, Porsche just dropped a love letter in the mail to every driving purist out there. And it reads, "We see you. We still build cars for you." By continuing to offer and evolve the manual transmission, Porsche isn't just ticking an option box. They're preserving a sacred connection, a connection between human and machine, between a left foot, a right hand, and an engine that answers back, between drivers who still get goosebumps from a perfect third gear downshift. Sure, Porsche has already proven their engineering dominance at the ring with the 918 Spider and GT2 RS, cars loaded with the kind of tech that makes a spaceship jealous. But this record, it was different. It wasn't about the best lap time money and code could buy. It was about driving skill, feel, and a little bit of old school grit. In an era where lap times are often the result of software updates, this was a victory for the analog soul. It reminds the industry and all of us that performance isn't just about what's possible, it's about what's meaningful. And maybe, just maybe, it'll inspire other manufacturers to bring the clutch pedal back to the conversation. Because Porsche didn't just break a record, they rekindled a movement. So there it is, 6 minutes, 56.294 seconds, the fastest lap ever by a production manual transmission car at the Nürburgring. Driven by Jörg Bergmeister, engineered by the Wizards of Stuttgart, and cheered on by every driver who still believes that driving is an art, not just a science. Porsche didn't just break a record, they breathed life back into the manual gearbox. In a time where tech rules and touchscreens dominate dashboards, this was a bold reminder. Driving can still be raw, mechanical, and deeply personal. Will this record stand for another decade like the Vipers? Will it pressure rivals like BMW or Corvette to put clutch pedals back in their Halo cars? No one knows for sure, but one thing's certain. This is a win for the analog faithful. So are you team manual, team GT3, or maybe just team give me goosebumps at Redline? Drop a comment and let us know. Tell us your favorite Nürburgring moment, your manual memories, or your dream GT3 spec. And if this got your motor running, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more high-revving stories from the world of performance cars. Because Porsche didn't just prove the manual's still alive, they showed it's kicking, screaming, and blasting down the ring at 7,000 RPM.